Good morning. It's Friday morning. It's about 5:40 now. I'm walking to the railroad station. I like being early. There's the rail station right there. Not a lot of traffic, so it's easy for me to get where I'm going. Left my room. I left my room, left the key there, took all my stuff. Everything's in my bag, and I'm all set to go to Edinburgh. Had a good night last night. I did go get food at the picture house again, and then I basically just went back to the room, tried to go to sleep about 9:15, 9:30, something like that, and I finally fell asleep. It was probably around 10. I woke up in the middle of the night like 2, then again at 4, and then finally a little after 5. I beat my alarm by about 10 minutes. So always happy when I do that. It just gives me a little extra time to get ready and go. Packed everything up and left, and here I am walking. So just gotta wait now, about 40 minutes or so for a train. So I'm at the train station. I just ran into the gentleman I met at the Boffy that gave me the tour. He's heading home. He lives in Wales, so he'll be going to Glasgow, and then from Glasgow to Wales. Now we had a nice conversation, probably about 40 minutes. So it's been just a great time here. People seem to be very outgoing and friendly. Obviously, we have something in common with the challenge, and there's a couple of more challengers here that are across the way. They're going northbound, I guess, toward Aberdeen. Well, I arrived in Edinburgh. It's rainy, drizzling. It's quite chilly. I've been walking around for a couple of minutes. I passed an old graveyard and been walking around lots of statues. I'm in a park area. I'm going to go see the Nelson Monument. But just absolutely stunning views of the skyline here. And out there. Pretty amazing. What a lot of history. Good morning. It's 4 o'clock on Saturday morning. I got up about 16 minutes ago, beat my alarm by 1 minute, grabbed all my gear, my bag, and the other one's on my back, and just waiting for my cab, which should be along in about 15 minutes. So, last night I hung out at the hostel until about 5:30, 5:45, and then I went to a locally owned by a family Greek restaurant. Had a good meal, got my lamb chops that I wanted, had a drink, and then I came back, tried to fall asleep, and I really didn't. I didn't fall asleep till about, I drifted in and out. Maybe like once or twice I took a little nap, but it wasn't until like around 2 o'clock, and then I was really worried about not waking up on time. So at 3:44, my alarm was set for 3:45. I actually popped up, looked at my watch, and saw that I had 1 minute to go. So I ended up grabbing all my gear, which was in the bed with me, and getting out of there. I went to the bathroom already, and I'm sitting out here. It's about 50 degrees right now today. It's not raining, at least. It's just a cool breeze. And I'm just waiting for the cab. So I had a good time. I did find out last night from a gentleman here that there's a lot of events going on this week. As a matter of fact, there is the Edinburgh Marathon with 40,000 people running tomorrow, which is another reason why it's very, very hard to find rooms. And there's also a big concert in town. He told me Harry Styles is here as well. I think today or last night or today. So there's a lot of people in town that normally wouldn't be here, which is why room prices are extremely high, and all the hostels and everything are filled up. The hostel was 100% filled up last night. So I'm glad I booked in advance, because without it, it'd be very hard to find a room unless you want to pay a lot of money. Because when I was searching, rooms were, the cheapest room I was able to find was like 250, 260 pounds up to 400. And then, of course, it goes up from there. So that's it. I was a little disappointed yesterday in my walking around, because when I first got to town, I walked around, and I was a little disappointed that I couldn't see the Nelson Memorial, Lord Nelson. It's closed. I don't know why. Maybe staffing, I'm not sure. And the Sherlock Holmes statue, unfortunately, has been put in storage because of construction, so it's not out on the street anymore. So, oh well. 2 things I was looking forward to doing. It stopped raining and drizzling by the afternoon, and I basically killed time. I walked over here, started walking here like around noon, and I stopped for lunch, as you saw, and I stopped for a coffee to kill time till 3 o'clock when I could check in. I was able to check in. A little difficulty, I didn't have the PIN to open the door. They had to send it to me in an email. The PIN I had was for something else, and I thought it was a door code, and it wasn't working. Other than that, decent accommodations. It's a hostel, and you're crammed together. So, but it's very, very clean. The beds were nice. Everything in my bed worked. I had 2 power outlets. I had a light. And if I wasn't getting up so early, I would have enjoyed it more. But I was worried that I wasn't going to make it in time. So that's it. So I'm just waiting for the cab, and I'm going to head off to the airport and hopefully get my flight. Thank you for joining me. It's good to be back home. I'm back home and I'm recording this. This is the first time I've recorded now in like 4 months or so since I came back from Scotland. And I've been very, very busy. A lot of stuff going on professionally with work and then personally. But most of that is settled down now. I've gotten caught up with most of the videos. They're going to be coming out on a weekly basis going forward from about day number 9. Obviously, those have already all come out by the time you watch this. But this is, I just wanted to do a little recap of my travel home, because I did not record a lot the day that I traveled home. I was in the airport and on the flights, because I just didn't, and it was a long day. And things didn't go as planned. So on my ride home that day, you saw I got up very, very early. I had a 7:30 flight out of Edinburgh that I was trying to make.
I made it to the airport, no problem in time. Unfortunately, there seems to have been some sort of pre-planned strike activity or demonstration or something that was affecting flights that day. I did get an email or a text the day before letting me know that there may be some delays, but that really didn't cover it. The 7:30 flight did not take off on time. It was delayed. It was actually very delayed. After waiting in the terminal about an hour or so, they actually had us exit the terminal onto the ramp area, put us onto buses, and drove us out on the tarmac, or the ramp area, to where the plane was, and actually had us board the plane via stairs to the aircraft. And then they told us that it was going to be several more hours until we would be able to take off, because we had missed our pre-designated takeoff window, and they could not tell us when we would be taking off, but they anticipated 2 to 3 hours minimum before that would take place. We were already on the plane for a while at this point when they finally let us know that, and they gave people an opportunity that didn't want to wait on the plane to go back to the terminal. They brought another bus out, they loaded them back on the bus, and they took them to the terminal. Fortunately, their estimate of telling us that it would be several more hours before we took off wasn't so. We took off sooner than anticipated, but still late for the flight. Now, I had a connection to make, and I was worried about it, and I already figured that wasn't going to take place. So some people actually took advantage of getting off the plane when they told us it would be several hours, but it was actually only about another hour or so. So by the time we all got settled in, we had already been on the plane for an hour, hour and a half. Some people left, and then about another hour later, the flight was able to depart. And that was about 10 o'clock in the morning. So the flight landed in London, Heathrow Airport, at about 11:40. And my connecting flight, which had already passed, so I figured I missed it, was actually still on the ground at Heathrow because it was also delayed. Unfortunately, it was actually boarding when we landed. I figured I had already missed it. There was no way I was going to get from one terminal to another. I would need like an hour, hour and a half probably to do that, because in there you go from one terminal to another, you have to go through security again, and there's a line, and I figured I wasn't going to make it. So immediately upon landing, I went to the restroom, came out, and went to basically customer service, guest relations, where I knew, and there was already a long line there. I waited on that line probably close to 2 hours with about probably 300 other people, all waiting to get rerouted for flights because their flight had been delayed as well. Everyone coming off the flight pretty much had to get on that line. Fortunately, I had gone to the bathroom and then got on the line. A lot of people had to get off the line to go to the bathroom or were more delayed, so the line got longer and longer. Luckily, they did take care of us. They gave me a 10-pound voucher for my inconvenience of missing the flight and having to be rerouted. Unfortunately, I could not be routed on another British Airways flight that day. But I was very fortunate that because of their alliance, the One World network they have, that I was able to get on an American Airlines flight and get back to the U.S. that evening. So pretty much about 3 hours after I landed or so, I was able to get on an American Airlines line, confirm my ticket, receive a new boarding pass, had a little time to just get something to eat and drink, and use that 10-pound voucher, and then I got on the plane and we left. So I had very little downtime to actually enjoy the airport, which was fine with me. I was looking forward to get home. So the flight that I was able to get on was an American Airlines flight leaving London, going to Miami. And then instead of arriving like 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the afternoon like I was originally scheduled, I ended up coming in basically 4 to 5 hours later at 7 p.m. that night, landed in Miami, had to take a long walk around the terminal to customs. I don't know how long it was, but it was long. And of course, there was a long wait there as well to go through customs. And about an hour and a half after I landed, I was cleared to come back in the United States. Thank you, welcome me home. And I was able to walk out, and I was greeted by my family. My sons came to pick me up and drove me back home. I was very lucky. Many of the people that I traveled with, and while we're online, people start talking, complaining, letting you know what their situation is, or just, venting out loud, thinking about what's going on. I was with several people. There was one person behind me that had to wait till the following day to get a flight to where they were going because it was only one flight a day that goes there, and it had already left by the time we had landed late. So they missed their connection as well as I did, but they had to wait till the following day to go. Other people were not so lucky just because it's a popular destination, and so many people had been backed up in the system and displaced that the later flights were all booked up, and they still had to wait till the following day. Some of them got out later that day, some of them didn't get out at all, some of them, I have no idea when they got out. But the most amazing thing of that whole day was the fact that when I was in Edinburgh, waiting to get onto the plane, we were sitting at the terminal. As I said, they boarded about an hour late, and they put us on those buses. They just had us walk through the terminal and go out on the ramp. I'm sitting in the terminal, a lady sits down across from me, and it is the same lady that I recognized from the flight going to Inverness 3 weeks earlier with the young child, Angus, who was making all that noise and fuss because he was uncomfortable and wanted to sit at the window and all that. But I'm thinking to myself, what's the chance? I mean, what's the odds of that? I have no way you'd even compute them, but it's got to be, you know, astronomical. You know, it's like winning the lottery, which I would have much preferred to have done. But a person traveling, I don't know anybody in this country, but here I am, someone that traveled to Inverness with me, but I'm not in Inverness anymore. I'm actually in Edinburgh, and they're flying out as well. They were not going back to the U.S. They were going somewhere else. But what is the chance of that? That blew my mind. Like, what is the chance of those things happening? It's just, you know, I don't know how to even take that. That to me was the mind-blowing thing of the day. So that's it. That was my trip home. I'm going to tack this on to a video that I've already done for the last day on my way in, the next to last day, my day in Edinburgh, and I'll put this on. I have another hike coming up shortly that I'm going to do a video for that, and also a recap of the TGO. I'll be doing that video as well shortly. This video is already long enough. So just a couple of things, you know, recapping, you know, and what I would do differently, things like that. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Thank you if you've been watching and you followed along my trip on the challenge. It was great. I had a great trip. I'd love to do this again. I hope I get to do it again, but I have no immediate plans right now. There are openings for the TGO challenge. I think it's already open by the time you're seeing this. It probably has already opened up because that was in mid-September. And I think even now in October, there are still places available. I guess less people have signed up to participate this year, so there were some vacancies still. I think there was still like 70 openings last time I checked. So if you're interested in doing the TGO, you can sign up. Thank you so much for joining me and taking time out of your day to watch this video. I appreciate it. Please leave a like or a comment below. I will respond to all of them. I enjoy getting it. Send me an email if you want to. And if you feel so inclined, you like the videos, you enjoyed following me along with me, consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much once again for taking time to watch the video. Till we meet again.